Hey, look, it started. All right, Achievers. This is going to be one of these times where I actually start with a question. And you are well aware that the AFC Championship game might as well. It was at first called the Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. Invitational, and now it is the Patrick LaVon Mahomes II Invitational.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since the year 2001, can you name the other 10 AFC teams that have been to the AFC Championship game?
Baltimore, Cincinnati.
That's 2.
Denver.
That's 3.
Buffalo.
4.
Indianapolis.
5.
Oh God. Pittsburgh.
There you go. 6. I was about to say you forget one easy one.
Kind of like it's crazy because the AFC is one of those divisions where like I've already kind of run through the quarterbacks that
you left one.
I did.
You left one out. That one of the AFC
Jacksonville
quads. That's not the one I was thinking of, but yes, that's another one.
Unless the Bortles is elite.
Bortles made it. You have 3 more.
Oh shit. Well, this is beyond the Jets run, right? You said 10 years.
20 years.
Oh, 20 years? Okay, so New York.
Yep.
Back to 04. We are beyond Oakland.
You are not. You made Oakland. There you go. Actually, it's 11 because I forgot New York. So
we all forget the Jets.
I did forget the Jets, sadly. There's 2 more.
Man.
One's got it easy, and I've got to surprise you.
That's what's driving me crazy. He's like, you should have this one. I'm like, bro.
He has hella kids.
Tennessee.
That's not the one I was talking about, but all right, cool. And even more easy.
Oh, so the Chargers.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the last one. There you are.
I was like, I don't know why I went straight to Tannehill when you said hella kids. I was like, wait, that's not right. Phillip Rivers did. No, he went to Indy. That's what it was.
Yes. He went to Indy and he won one playoff game and lost the very next one.
We got there in the end. It's a much easier question if you were like, who are the last like few representatives of the AFC in the Super Bowl, because that list is only like half of the one we just went through. So.
It's like 4 of them. 4 of those.
It might be 5. It's like because it's like KC, New England, Pittsburgh, Denver, Baltimore, and then depending on how far we go back, Indianapolis.
Yeah. Good job, man. I'm proud. That did not take you. That did not take you as long as I thought it would. But hey, I'd like to welcome y'all to the 4th volume of the Until the Final Whistle podcast. It is I. Excuse me, Nolo Green.
I am the pinnacle of sadness.
Yeah, bro. So you want to get to your sadness first?
Let's dive right in. Let's talk about Monday.
So Monday, last night, there were 2 Monday night games. One we don't even need to talk about, other than saying that that man Josh Allen is the man. But other than that,
you are correct. So let's talk about the Bills.
So let's talk about the other game, the one that was actually competitive and full of offensive and absolutely no defense, because none of them showed up. They didn't even bother getting on the plane. It was between the Cincinnati Bengals, who were at home, versus the Washington Commanders. A coming out party, if you will, for Jalen Daniels. But we're not going to focus on that right now. We're going to focus on the Cincinnati Bengals defense, who was out there just to be there. They were all vibes. They didn't do nothing. They ain't stopped nothing. The Washington defense didn't stop anything for real either, but they at least held them to 2 field goals. The Cincinnati Bengals defense was just there. They didn't have nothing to offer. The game, it was the first game since 1940 where neither team had a punt or a turnover. And now I will let the resident Cincinnati Bengals fan do his thing.
I'm sure that game was incredibly fun to watch for a neutral. It's exactly what the NFL wanted, right? High-powered offenses going after each other, big plays, big drama. However, for me, growing up in Virginia and having a distaste for Washington sports, and then being a Bengals fan, it was 4 hours of the most torturous television I've ever seen in my life. So let me get this off my chest first. The offense played great. I am not going to fault Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and in the offensive line, who isn't getting enough credit because they have been very improved compared to what we have thrown out there at offensive line. But to go 7 drives and come away with 4 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and then the only one they didn't score, they missed a longer field goal, right? We're not going to pretend there's any blame on the offense. And I'm tired of these things I've been seeing all day about how come Joe Burrow couldn't win this game. What else do you need Mans to do when he throws for over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns? Now, I believe at the beginning of the year when we were making our predictions and I was having fun building a narrative and enjoying myself 3 weeks ago, and now I'm not.
You sure did.
I believe
you and D-Mac did.
I believe I brought up my absolute concern over the defense, and I did not know it was going to get this bad.
Yeah, bro. So I had to say concern with my team, but woo, your defense. Yep. The crazy thing is you have an absolute beast at defensive end but that's Trey Hendrickson. But that is absolutely it. They don't have anybody.
We're at a pressure rate where if Hendrickson doesn't create the pressure, there's just not going to be any. So like he's not going to do it every down. That's outrageous. So he's the only one who produced a sack last night. And I think that was the only pressure we had last night. And
that is not good.
They were 3 for 3 on 4th down conversions, and they were like 4th down convert. The first one was, a little give and take. It's still early in the game. They don't want to kick the field goal because they think, and then ended up it being true, they think they're going to have to keep up scoring. So they go for it and make it. But then the other ones is just like, you could almost see it in Jaden Daniels' eyes where he was like, they're not going to stop me. Let me go. And
that last one. That last one, when he talked to them, he was like, yo, let me go. Let me do this. And I sat there and I looked at him, he looks determined. And I was like, oh, man. And the Cincinnati defense hasn't shown me a damn thing to make me think they're going to stop him. So I don't know why I would think they was going to stop him.
I want to talk about one play in particular that really impressed me with Jaden Daniels, right? It was their last touchdown. Did you see their last touchdown?
I did. You talking about the one to Terry McLaurin?
Yeah, so Cincinnati
threw that bitch to the corner.
Yeah, Cincinnati ain't done shit all game on defense, right? So they say, fuck it, let's dial up a cover 0, right? Mm-hmm. Let's throw the house at him. It's late in the game. Let's see if the rookie makes a play. And he made that damn play. He had the man in his face, tossed it up, dime piece. McLaurin wins the one-on-one. Weirdly, of everything, that's the one play of the defense made the whole game where I'm like, you know what? I can't be mad at that. But to be in that situation because you played the entire rest of the game so bad. We have to play Baltimore twice.
I know. Yeah, man. I'm not sure what your Bengals schedule looking like, but I'm about to look at it now. Okay, so you have the Andy Dalton revenge game.
Loss.
Damn, that's terrible. You play the Ravens the next week. After that, yeah, I could see that one. You play the Giants after that.
Loss.
I don't know about that one. You play Cleveland after that.
They might actually be worse than us. And I'm not just being a hater.
Yeah, and then the next 2 games are the Eagles and the Raiders. So there is a possibility. So that's the next 6 games. and y'all might win 2 of them. So 2-7 to come out the way if we're going by how you are procrastinating with your thoughts. But I'm gonna be a little bit more. I'm gonna go with the optimism of here. Now, your defense is absolute trash. I can't say nothing positive. The only positive thing I can say about your defense is that the last play that was actually good coverage. And they did everything they needed to do. It's just that Jaden Daniels threw the perfect throw. But I can see y'all. Is that a game? Yeah, it's in Carolina. I can see y'all going to Carolina and getting a W because they destroyed the Raiders on Sunday, I don't think that's going to be a repeat effort. I think that was more of the locker room had been tired of dealing with Bryce Young. And it's not Bryce Young's fault. He just regressed even worse than what he was last year. And then they put it in a quarterback who's competent, not good, but competent, even though he was looking elite. And they were able to perform. I don't see them going off again like that. And I can see the game being a lot closer and y'all pulling it out because I believe y'all have the better offense and the better team. And your defense might actually get a couple stops somehow, some way, because Andy Dalton, you don't have to worry about Andy Dalton running.
Yeah,
Jaden Daniels, you had to worry about Jaden Daniels pulling off on y'all, but y'all ain't got to worry about that. So I feel like it's gonna be a little easier.
That's kind of the silver lining we have to live with, right? We saw what the offense can do when they're firing, and it's what you expect of our offense to be like in the past few years. And you just have to hope that what we saw on Monday is the floor of that defense, and like it can only go up, right? It can't get much worse. Like it's just you look at the stat line and you see your offense had 460 yards, 30 first downs, and then you have to turn that around and say, "Oh, but we lost though."
Yeah, man. Any final words on your Cincinnati Bengals?
Yeah. No, not really. I don't really want to talk about them much anymore. Like, me and you have always talked about how you always get that day, and I'm still in that day where I'm allowed to bitch and moan and complain.
You are, because you were spiraling last night, and it was if I could read my man was going through it. I was like, come on, dog. It's not this bad. I was like, go to sleep.
I did. I went to bed at about midnight.
I'm like, yo, stop watching this for your mental health. So we got so next we have this. Who got bailed out more on Sunday? The Eagles coach Sirianni or John Harbaugh with the good old Ravens?
I will present the argument that Harbaugh did because I want you to lead the Sirianni discussion.
I get that. I get that.
So let's get into the Harbaugh thing, right? The Ravens were up, 28-3, game over, and
28-6.
And it turned into a situation where I was texting you like, comeback is on as a joke, right? And then it was comeback is on half a joke. And then it was, comeback is actually on. Like, what is going on? And it turned into a situation where you had the opportunity to get the ball back, and Lamar Jackson had to basically bail that team out and take one big throw to Flowers that he hangs on to secure that first down. And then the read option play where he had the cameraman and your boy Michael Parsons running into the other end zone looking for the ball that wasn't there.
In a blender, bro. In a blender. Oh, man. So I was like watching in the game, and so as it was 28-6 going into the fourth quarter, I had already accepted the loss. I didn't care anymore. I was like, it is what it is. We just gonna move on. My week's gonna suck because I wear Cowboys lanyard at work, so I'm gonna hear it every single time I walk around. But hey, it's all good. So they score. I was like, good for them. Nice for finally the offense to show up. Then get an onside kick, score again. I was like, oh, that's nice. Good for y'all, bro. All right, cool. I believe they missed the 2-point conversion. Then They try the onside kick again, miss, doesn't get it back, get a stop, which was a very rare occurrence on the day. So shout out to them. Even though the only but I will say, as much credit I'm going to give the Cowboys, I have to give more credit to the Ravens, because all they did was they just ran the ball with Derrick Henry. They didn't do any like read option with Lamar Jackson, because you're up 28-6. Why do you need to do anything more to put your quarterback at risk? There's no point. You should be able to run this clock out and win this game. They did not. It came down to the point where the Cowboys had to kick the ball off after another score. They was only down by 3, I believe, and had a chance to win the game. All they had to do was get one more stop. But as you saw, Lamar Jackson made things happen, because he is the 2-time MVP that he is, and Cowboys lose. But
that's what's so crazy about Baltimore, though. We've seen that in Lamar's entire time there, where I don't understand why. It's like everybody knows what they should do, and then just like, nah, I'm gonna try this though, and then it's not working. And they blew the Raiders game doing that shit, and then it was happening all over again. And Lamar just had to be like, you know what? No, I got this. And now they can, get off the schneid. They're not 3 games behind Pittsburgh like us, and almost must win for them if they have the same aspirations they should. It's just,
oh no, they needed to win that game. That was way more of the Ravens need to win this game more than the Cowboys need to win this game, because the Cowboys could have lost that game, as we did, and they're in the NFC East. Okay, it's not like the Eagles are game busters or anything. They're not some monsters.
We may have, though, seen the end of Justin Tucker.
Yes. Oh, hey man, you remember in Space Jam when they took when their little aliens took the powers to the NBA players? Basically, Brandon Aubrey said, "This is my time now." I know they probably had like a handshake at midfield, and Brandon Aubrey barely whispered to him like, "It's my time, bitch." That man, Justin Tucker. That man, he is he has the most misses of 50-yard field goals this season.
Yeah, I think it goes farther back than this season of all active kickers.
Ooh, oh man, such a shame. Oh, what I would like to defend my Michael Parsons for a little bit, because people was out here talking about Michael was in a blender the entire game. He was not in a blender the entire game. The way that Zimmer runs his defense is he has to spill when he's doing his in his gap. So all he's doing is basically taking up space and making it so his linebackers are able to go tackle them. Sadly, a lot of my linebackers and safeties were in the gap, their responsibility that they needed to be in, and they got cooked. And my defensive tackle, Mozzie Smith, got his furniture moved on at least 75% of that game. That man was out here getting picked up like a baby by that offensive line. I don't know the center for the Ravens, but that was the best game he probably played in forever, and it was against Mozzie Smith for the Cowboys. Also, it didn't help that Zimmer played cover 1 and only had 1 safety in the back. He probably needed to keep 2 safeties in the back, so then he'll have more people when they got through the second level of the linebackers to go tackle Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson. But hey, things happen.
Unfortunately for you, the average football fan is not going to understand that kind of defensive schematic, and all they see is Michael Parsons only has 1 sack on the whole year, and I thought he was supposed to be the best linebacker.
Hey, bro. I mean, if you suck it, as my man Marcus Spears likes to say, you have to earn the right to pass rush the quarterback. And how you earn that right is to stop the run. And what the Cowboys do not do is stop the run. So it's kind of hard to pass rush when you have to run block or run the entire time. Run defend the whole hits. So hey, it is what it is.
So let me lead you in. Let me build you up for a second.
Go for it, buddy.
The Eagles Saints game, right?
Mm-hmm.
A real offensive spectacle, if you will. All lies. The game was incredibly boring. However, that being said, the Eagles should not have won that game. Probably bailed out because Saquon Barkley has, on his revenge tour to prove the Giants wrong, decided to go extra elite. And Derek Carr crashed back down to earth.
There you go. I was about to be like, and Derek Carr showed us who he was.
But Derek Carr crashing back down to earth and still probably should have won that game. Walk me through why Sirianni needs to thank Saquon Barkley for everything.
Sirianni. So many weird, things he does. Sorry, phone. My bad, Siri. Oh, that's why Siri heard Sirianni and was like, what you mean? But nah. So Sirianni.
I'm more useful.
Is that way more useful? You have answers. So just the way the way he was doing things, he decided to try to kick a 60-yard field goal for whatever reason. I mean, I appreciate him because his kicker is my kicker on fantasy. So I was like, oh, this would be a nice little boost if he actually makes this. He did not make it. It was nowhere near close. When he had a chance to actually kick a field goal when he should have kicked it, he decided not to. Decided to go for it on fourth down. They got stopped. He does not. I know he doesn't call the offense, but he does make the decisions on going for it and not going for it. And I feel like Sirianni has always continued to put the Eagles behind the 8 ball and putting them in bad situations. Luckily, thank his lucky stars that Saquon Barkley is amazing and his defense decided to show up. Mainly their pass rush. Because one thing Derek Carr doesn't like is people coming in his face. And I know that sounds crazy, but that doesn't matter. When he goes, when he has pressure, he curls up. He is not the quarterback that he was shown the first 2 weeks of the season. You have multiple people getting pressure on him, and there was nothing that could be done. And Derek Carr just went into the fetal position, and as we know how he does. And on that last drive, I was actually rooting for the damn Saints. I wanted the Saints to win, even though it sounded like I'd be hating on the Saints. But they was going against a division rival, so I wanted the Eagles to also be 1-2. But they could not pull it off because Derek Carr is who we thought he was.
Unfortunately for your boy, still worked out, still won, but I decided I wanted to believe in Derek Carr. And this is why I talk on this show instead of coaching the NFL. I feel like I should have known. Like, we've seen this, right? So why was I like, oh yeah, he's going to do it again. I'm going to throw him in there. It's going to be crazy. It wasn't crazy.
Hey, I appreciate you. You saved me from myself. Because you picked up Derek Carr, which I was like, damn, well, I guess I got to believe. I think I still would have picked Cousins to start because of the secondary of the Eagles is actually good, minus one person. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, man, you are a tinkerer. You love to tinker. You be like, I got to go with this hot hand. I'm going to go with this person. And then you should have just stuck with the team you had. But it all worked out still. You still won.
Kyron Williams is my absolute hero and deserves all of the credit for any fantasy win that I might have squeaked out last week. So thank you to him and his family and the Rams.
Now, shout out to Jawan Jennings. That is my hero.
Anyways, one more thought about the Eagles game. One of those fourth down conundrums that Sirianni blundered, in my opinion, was there was that play where they lined up like tush push, right? And they decided instead to get cute and try to go around the edge from the tush push in like a weird little end around sweep.
which I've seen them do before.
Yeah, but works. Like I understand that his line was not what it used to be, but like it's almost like he's overthinking the entire effort of it. Like the play is so hard to stop. I don't think the personnel change is that big of a deal. I mean, it could be, but like to try to just be like, oh, we'll just go around, we're the Eagles, we got it, and then you don't got it, and you're sitting here playing against a team that didn't really get going until halfway through the fourth quarter, and you're like, well, we're losing 3-0, so I guess we're still in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the touch push has been working this year. I don't think it's been stopped. I don't think it has. I could be wrong. But, yeah, man. This is what it is, bro. Tis what it is. Did you want to...
if it's the same note I have next. If it's the same note I have next, I would love to lead it in.
Go for it, my brother. Go for it.
Andy Dalton is elite. Well, I know why you're laughing because you know it's wrong, but at the same time, the way people were talking about Carolina, you make one quarterback change and all of a sudden they look like a well-tuned machine. Gold jacket is coming. Bengals legend, Andy Dalton. He's going to kill us next week.
Okay, so that's because you went from no one ever said Andy Dalton is bad. He just should not be your starter for a long period of time.
I don't even think that's the fairest argument.
I just think, okay, I put it this way. If your aspirations are for bigger and better things, Andy Dalton should not be your starting quarterback. But I will say what they should have done in Carolina is Bryce Young should have never touched the field, at least not until this year. That whole first year should have been Andy Dalton the entire time. Because all they did was ruin him. And he's had 5 different head coaches in the 18 games he's played. And he's already had 5 different head coaches. That's a lot of different talking people giving you different advice, different play styles, different coaching styles. And he's a rookie or a second-year player now. He's not used to this. But Andy Dalton, the vet, the red rifle, been about his life. He don't care. He's been on 5 different teams now, or 4 different teams. He can adjust. He can be cut today, go to a different team tomorrow, learn the playbook, and probably start. Like if he went to the Dolphins right now,
it would be
Tyreek Hill would be hyped. Tyreek Hill would be so happy right now if Andy Dalton went to the Dolphins. So I'm not hating on Andy Dalton. I'm not gonna call this motherfucker elite, but that's cool. That's okay. I know it's hyperbole. I don't know you just hype.
This is where I kind of want to hit you with a little bit of a different take on the whole Andy Dalton thing. It's going to lead into a couple stuff, but like people love to use the argument because they use it against your guy Dak all the time, right? They love to use the argument that is he going to take you to that next level, right? Mm-hmm. But at the same time, every single year we all talk about how there's only 5 guys in that conversation. So why are we labeling that same metric on 25 other dudes? And we can take 5 of those guys out of it because they're probably the young guys that are all brand new and you don't really know yet. Andy Dalton's in that group of quarterbacks that are, unless you are confident you can get that next spot or take that next leap, why even move on? Derek Carr's made a career doing that. Dalton's made his career doing that. Cousins has made his career doing that. You can argue a little more successfully just because there is a little bit of playoff success. But a lot of teams, and you see it with how these young guys struggle a lot. A lot of teams sometimes they just, like you said, need a guy that knows the NFL, can go in there and just run an offense. You're going to get a few games every once in a while where they have absolute stinkers because they're not the cream of the crop talent. But you're also probably not going to have consistent bad quarterback play.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, he is what's it called? He is stable. and he could do his job, that's half the job. Can you do your job? Can you do what is asked?
You look at all the quarterbacks around. He's just a ginger, less exciting Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
The only real difference is Dalton never won one of them playoff games, and some of them I don't even think are all his fault. Two of them, definitely his fault, but not all.
No, I wouldn't blame him for everything. I wouldn't blame him for that. So did you want? I mean, we got already talked about it, so I don't think we probably need to talk about it anymore.
I do want to bring one more conversation in regarding quarterbacks real quick.
What's that?
And I hate to go back to the Bengals game, but something really annoyed me from sports media today, Laurel.
Oh, go for it.
And I'm not even gonna stop on the people that think Joe Burrow didn't do enough, because that's an outrageous conversation, and they're doing it and I know they're doing it to farm engagement.
Yes.
The thing that annoys me around this entire conversation is, why aren't we, unless I tuned out because I was annoyed, why aren't we praising Jaden Daniels way more? Because if you look at it from one situation, he went toe-to-toe with who a lot of people think is the second best quarterback in the league and came out with a dub.
I will say that I have seen a lot of people praise Jaden Daniels, but also we live in a society and a culture where negativity rules, baby. It's always negativity rules. It is more people are going to latch on and look at and talk about the negative aspects of what was going on. So Joe Burrow, amazing game. Jalen Daniels, even more amazing game. The man only had 2 incompletions, and it was his third game on the road on Monday Night Football underneath all the stars. Oh, I was going to say the only game going on, but there was another game, but nobody cared about that game. That game was over after the first quarter. So they were the only game that mattered for real, but yeah. I know for one thing, man. I don't know if you know any Washington fans right now that you have to work with, but they are on a high.
I'm really glad that one of my best friends is a Washington fan, my old roommate, and he is still as pessimistic as ever. He's just like, I don't want to get excited off one game. I still want to see more. And I'm like, stop. This is not the time to be level-headed. If anybody deserves to go crazy tonight, is you. You know what I mean?
Yo, be happy. You know that you know that meme of what you call it? Randy Marsh from South Park, where he's like on the computer and like his nuts like everywhere.
Yeah.
my homeboy who's a Washington fan had that same one, but it just has a Washington the Washington logo there. And I was just like, I'm not mad at you, bro. I get it. If I was a Washington fan, I'd be hyped too. Because if you had sucked as long as they have sucked, and they have not even had a glimmer of happiness, and you finally get rid of that toxic ass owner, you get in some leadership and management who's actually looks like to be doing good things, and you have a head coach who's been a head coach before, and it's looking pretty good. And you got your new your franchise player. Hey, sky's the limit, bro.
And Kingsbury, Kingsbury's working that magic where he had Kyler Murray like firing on all cylinders his first few years, and since he's not in the head coach role, it's not like he's going to get big-headed again.
Yeah. He ain't got to worry. He ain't got to worry about none of that, bro. He good. He's the offensive coordinator.
So I'm going to change a note because I don't quite believe it like when I wrote it down anymore. So the rookie quarterbacks, there was some improvement. Jaden Daniels looked crazy good. Bo Nix managed his game. Still no passing touchdowns, but it's probably coming. And then Caleb Williams, the Bears look bad, but he got him some touchdowns. But I want to talk about who I think is the actual rookie of the year leader right now. Let's talk about Malik Neighbors and his crazy game he had this weekend.
I appreciate everything he does. He is bringing back the feeling of Giants rookie wide receivers. So we remember when Odell was with the Giants that rookie year, and you were like,
again too, baby.
Yeah, man. Hey, bro, it's looking pretty good for him. Daniel Jones actually has someone he could throw to, because before we all found out Daniel Jones was trash, we used to hold out on the fact that he didn't have any wide receivers for real. You can't say that no more. He has a 1. He also happens to wear number 1, and he is a beast. And shout out to LSU, bro. LSU wins again.
Wide receiver factory. They're just turning them out.
LSU wins again, man.
It makes me wonder how the scouting goes on draft night. There's all these receivers pull up, and then you're looking at it, and you're like, well, we could pick this guy or this guy, and I'd be that guy on the team with like, why don't we just get the LSU kid? Like, why even look?
Why are we not getting the LSU guy? Please.
The track record is crazy.
Yeah, bro. Outrageous. And his touchdown catch. You said what?
They'd be like, let's get the guy from Rutgers. And I'm like, LSU. Stop.
LSU.
No. I don't care what his measurements are.
He's good. That catch in the back of the end zone for, I believe it was his first one. Beautiful.
Outrageous.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
It made no sense.
It was a good one. It's good, and I'm happy for Malik Neighbors out here cooking and doing this thing. So I'm proud of him. Cowboys are going to the Meadowlands on Thursday.
Are you afraid of that defense, Laurel?
I mean, the Giants are like the best running team. What's that? I like stats
for you.
I like stats.
How much fear do you have with the Giants defense? I saw they had 8 sacks against the Browns.
I did see that. I saw that as well. Yes.
That's a lot.
It is. I'm hoping that my offensive line brings it. Our rookie Guyton, hopefully he does it, because he was out here getting whooped on Sunday. That Jake was not good. Hopefully he has some improvements. It's only through 4 days after the last game. So, hey, it is what it is. I am cautiously optimistic that the streak that Dak has, I think he has, the Giants have not beat Dak in like 11 games in a row. So I am cautiously optimistic that the streak will continue.
Thursday games can be really weird, though.
They can. A lot of things can happen. A lot of things can happen.
I feel like it'll be, because you showed me one of those weird metrics that no one really thinks about, but you showed me about like how historically bad Dallas wide receiver separation is.
Oh God, it's so. You know who has the best separation on the team?
Probably a running back.
Nope, it's Jake Ferguson.
Shout out to tight ends.
Yeah, shout out to tight ends. That's, bro. None of the wide receivers. So I think the what is it? It is
Lambs was the highest,
league.
Right?
Who was?
Lamb.
No, he was not the highest.
Of the wide receivers.
Oh, yes. You are absolutely correct. He was the highest of the wide receivers. So league average is 2.96 yards of separation. None of the wide receivers were over 2.96. CeeDee Lamb was 2.1. Jalen Tolbert, 2.06. Jalen Brooks, 1.16. Brandon Cooks, 0.86. If he would get mad at Dak.
Insert Sports Center meme. Is that bad?
It's not good. Like, dog, they be getting mad at Dak. They be like, yo, man, Dak Dak be throwing these passes. I'd be like, yeah, Dak got to throw into the tightest windows in the league because his wide receivers have no separation, and that is all the fault of the Jerry Jones and Steven Jones.
Another thing that's fun about it, the Giants' run game is actually pretty good. Devin Singletary is doing his best Saquon Barkley impersonation, same number and everything.
I see him.
He's running pretty solid out there. Their biggest weakness still is the fact that Daniel Jones has got the bonehead in him.
And I'm hoping he bring it. I hope Daniel Jones has one of those classic Daniel Jones games. Remember week 1 last year? How excited we were? How excited I was? We won like 40-0. Man, that's great job.
For me, Daniel Jones is never going to live down when he broke that run against Philly and tripped over nothing.
Oh man,
and it's like everything from then. I was like, this dude just garbage, maybe.
Okay, so we're gonna move on. So we have 4 undefeated teams. We're gonna take one of them out the way because it's the Chiefs. So whatever.
Do you believe in the Chiefs?
Who do we trust more out of the undefeated teams that are remaining? The Steelers, the Vikings, or the Bills?
I feel like we could probably take the Bills out of the conversation. Seahawks are undefeated too, aren't they?
They are. The Seahawks as well.
We're just not going to talk about them. That's fine.
I think I might have just skipped their name, honestly.
That's fine. I think we can take the Bills out of the conversation. I don't know how much of last night was Jacksonville's also just shit. But they were humming last night.
I think we could easily take the Bills out of the conversation because it's like the way that they are running their offense, way more balanced, and Josh Allen doesn't have to force things. He's not forcing it to Stephon Diggs all the time. And if you saw his press conference afterwards, he said everybody eats.
He looks so happy.
He does. He doesn't have a wide receiver stressing him.
James Cook.
Yeah.
I don't like taking back takes because I love being wrong. I think it's fun. But if I've ever been wrong about a team, I don't mind being wrong about this Bills team.
Yeah, you was definitely wrong on that one. You was holding on. You was holding on to that.
I made it 3 weeks and I was like, you know what? They actually might be lit. But again, like we were saying, they did their homework. They went more balanced. They are spreading the ball around. Khalil Shakir, I think, is their leading receiver.
He is.
And James Cook is cooking.
Yeah. Keon Coleman, we're gonna be hearing a lot more from him soon.
Love that guy.
Yeah, I love. He's hilarious. He's a great person. We're looking forward. They have a tough matchup with Baltimore on Sunday Night Football, I believe, next week.
So I'm gonna be a big Bills guy this weekend.
Yo, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think they're gonna smoke the Ravens.
I would love it because then we'll both be 1-4 if we can beat Andy Dalton.
1-3, but yeah,
whatever. I can't count.
Yeah. It's all good, man. It's all good.
That's how bad I feel. Just adding losses out of nowhere.
Yeah, you just continue adding losses. You like, nah. It's been 5 weeks. I just have all the belief and confidence in the Bills, aka Josh Allen, in them to like just steamroll the Ravens because the Ravens have not showed me anything that to make me think that they can stop what the Josh Allen and the Bills have going on.
So I Pittsburgh's hard because like I don't believe in them because you can't keep getting away with the offense being this bad. But at the same time, I have seen nothing but winning seasons from Tomlin, and the defense is amazing.
I think they've given up 26 points the whole year.
They've only scored like 28. 3-0.
I mean, hey. Oh no, they actually scored on Sunday.
Yeah.
Yeah, he scored on Sunday. What you call it? What's my man name? Dun, 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 dun. Justin Fields actually looked pretty good on Sunday. Like he was actually like
serviceable.
He didn't. Yeah, like he was doing his job. Like he looked like he should be there. And Russ is probably on the sideline, like, damn, this ain't about to end well for me. But he still got all that money, so it doesn't matter.
I saw something today where Tomlin is just like, I'm not naming a starter, but Fields is playing. And I was like, I kind of like the audacity of that.
Hey, man. Shout out to our Newport News brethren, Denby High School alumnus, Mike Tomlin. I bet him at Sandbar once. He was a cool guy.
That leads me to believe that the team you do not believe in the most is Minnesota.
So, the reason there's a couple reasons I don't believe in Minnesota. And Minnesota is one of those teams, they haven't had to play from behind yet. And that's how I kind of felt the same way with the Saints. Is I want to see when a team gets up on them. Because if they get up, once the Vikings get up, then their defense can just lay out, just do whatever they want to do. They can hit you with all those exotic blitzes that they have, and they don't have to stop doing their plan. I want to see when their plan doesn't work and they have to come up with another one. That's when you have to adapt. And I will never believe in Sam Darnold. I do not care. It's never no. Sam Darnold might have got better, but I don't believe in him enough that I will put any type of respect and be like, yeah, they gonna win.
I don't even know if it's he's gotten better or it's more of he's been in the league long enough now to where the underlying talent that he did have, he's learned to use it where he needs to, and he's just become a serviceable guy. I mean, you put any quarterback with Justin Jefferson, and like Justin Jefferson is going to make him look good every once in a while. And then the craziest thing to me about Minnesota is Aaron Jones looks like he hasn't missed a beat since coming over from Green Bay. And I'm kind of excited about those Green Bay games because he's going to probably want to get one on them.
Oh, of course. That's next week, by the way.
I'm excited.
I
need something to distract me from the Bengals. So
I don't blame you. It is. They're going to be in Green Bay. Minnesota travels to Green Bay. I'm not 100% sure if Jordan Love is playing or not, but
about 50-50.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Even if Malik Willis plays, you know the type of sickos I love in football. Offensive coordinators that lose their starting quarterback, and then they know they'd be like, now I can just do bullshit and just see how this goes.
You're going to see some scheme ideas I've been working on.
yeah.
I'm going to dial this up for a mobile quarterback that we never had.
Watch this bullshit. That man got Malik Willis been there a month.
And they be running that bullshit where you're like, yo, we're going to split the quarterback out wide, right? And then we're going to run a reverse to him. So people are going to think he's going to pass it, but then he's going to reverse to somebody else.
Mm-hmm. Like, dog, Malik Willis had some of the most atrocious looking footwork a quarterback out of college has had that was drafted in a while. And LaFleur fixed it in a month. and got Malik Willis looking like a very serviceable quarterback that any other team would be happy to have. Again, if the Dolphins had him.
You know who would really love to have Malik Willis back? And he wanted to go on TV and be like, it's not a revenge game. But that's not what this show is about.
Nah, right? Buddy. We all about revenge. Petty.
The Titans had that X moment where you're really upset that they were somebody better than you, and then they come into your house and show you how much better they are than you.
Like they came to dinner, and then you just looking at who you got, which is disgust. Like, look at this motherfucker right here, bro.
We really left this for you. What have we done?
Hey, shows you what happens. Shows what happens when you get proper coaching. Like, I have a question. This isn't on the rundown, but if you had a quarterback that you needed to get fixed, who would you send him to?
To fix him?
Yeah.
Oh man, I want to say Miami, but that's just because there's a glaring hole down there right now, and I like Mike McDaniel, but I don't know.
So I'm going to combat the Miami one. I know that's not who you're going to go with, but I'm gonna combat that one with the moment Tua is not in the lineup, they are ass, absolute ass. So I would not say Mike McDaniel. My personal pick would be Sean McVay.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because you got to think both Darnold and Baker Mayfield went through there, and then they learned some things, and then Sam Darnold was able to go to another person who's really good with quarterbacks, Kevin McConnell, or Connell, however you say his damn name, in Minnesota, and he's been able to continue to be good. Shanahan, I'm not going to put in that type of realm because I don't really think he helps quarterbacks. I just think he's like, if you can do my system, if you can follow my system and follow the rules, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. That it is the system. It's not you.
I just don't like Shanahan's aesthetic. It just bothers me. He just looks like the kind of dude that like tells you he's got a deal for you and then steals your money and listens to 311. No, like
yeah, you think he a scammer? You think he a scammer?
Yeah, that's the real question we got to ask on this show. Is like, of all the NFL head coaches, which one do you feel like would try to introduce a multi-level marketing scheme to your family at a holiday dinner?
Mike McDaniel.
I feel like
Mike McDaniel, bro. You see how he looked?
Him and Raheem Morris, these dudes getting away with wearing joggers is crazy.
They do get to wear joggers. They get to be ultra comfortable with their job.
I don't know. There's something about Shanahan that's always irked me.
Is it because he tricked out multiple leads in the Super Bowl?
No, it has nothing to do with the football.
He's done it 3 times.
Every time I see him, he just looks like those dudes that they be shopping at like PacSun in their 40s.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Wearing their Billabong t-shirts. I'm gonna get us in trouble.
Nah, you good? Fuck that. He looked like one of them people. He definitely looked like he needs some sleep. That's what Shanahan looks like for real. Like he ain't got sleep in forever. Like he been staying up, coming up with all these different schemes because he knows his quarterback isn't quite as good as some people believe.
Shanahan looked like the kind of dude that would tell you about all the times he'd be surfing, but then he don't be surfing.
Yo, man, there was this big ass wave, bro, and it was just so it was good times. When was that? Oh, that was about 20 years ago, man. I ain't surfed in that. It's been a very long time.
Yeah, I'll be down at South Beach. You gotta use something real like generic ass sound. It could be anywhere. Like, yeah, I was down at like Southeast Beach. You know what I'm
saying? But nah, bro. Is there anything you're looking forward to this Sunday?
I'm looking forward to the Bengals winning a football game if they do.
Other
than that, I'm excited to see.
Mm-hmm.
Are the Chiefs going to play a complete game and get a win?
They play in the Chargers. That will probably not have. They will not. I was about to say they will not have Justin Herbert more than likely. So, yeah, probably.
Since the Vikings are playing the Packers, like you said, I'm looking forward to seeing if the Packers can get back in control of that division, and or this might be that test to make people think if the Vikings are real or not, if they can win this one.
Mm-hmm. So there's 2 Monday night games again.
You know what? Before we get on to that, I want to talk about that. I hate the double Monday night game.
I do not, but go for it.
I understand what you're coming from, but at the same time, I think I hate it more just because of how they present it. How can you call it a doubleheader when they compete with each other for airwaves? That's not a doubleheader. Don't act like you're doing me a favor when you have to pick a game.
They should not call it a doubleheader. They should come up call it like a double feature, if anything, because they're only 30 minutes apart from one another. One starts at 7:30, the other one starts at 8:15, the regular time. And we don't even have to watch that first game that long. That first game is trash. Like utter trash. It is the Titans versus the Dolphins. Will Levis might actually win a game.
Not if they start Snoop Huntley.
You are absolutely correct. Snoop might actually beat them.
Because Skylar Thompson, I think, is a shoulder injury or maybe a pec, but he's like may or may not play. And so they got Snoop Huntley in, and I think they're still looking. Well, I think they're still looking at options. It's time to bring Daddy home, Tannehill.
Tannehill? I think Tannehill out here waiting for something else.
Waiting for what?
I don't know. I feel like if they
Who calling him?
Somebody, maybe the Titans.
Give up that chance to throw it to Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Come on, bro.
I think they would have called him then.
Mike McDaniel ain't the dude that gave up on him. He'll go home.
No, I don't even remember who their coach was when they gave up.
Was it Flores, or was that before him too?
I think it was Flores.
So what's the Monday night game everyone's actually going to watch?
It is the Seahawks versus the Lions.
Oh, that should be fun.
Exactly. It's a good one. A good game.
So why have a second one? Who gives a shit about the other game?
Hey, I guess they want to have somebody out there watching it. Somebody's going to watch it.
It's stupid.
I don't mind it, man. Let it happen. The ABC game is the more important one anyway, so who cares? Just like y'all was the ABC game this week.
Don't remind me.
It's crazy because at the beginning of the season, I'd have been like, oh, Jacksonville and Buffalo might not be terrible. They might be okay. Like I still would have thought Buffalo was gonna win, but I at least thought the Jacksonville Jaguars would have put up a fight. But no.
So let's close with Jacksonville. Right.
Okay.
That might be, and I'm not going to dunk on Trevor Lawrence because I think that's boring. Jacksonville, we can talk about poorly run organizations all over the NFL, but Jacksonville is historically bad. Like, what are they doing?
Let's see. There's a Khan as the owner. He then hired a general manager who sucked at every other job he ever had, who then hired a head coach who didn't know who Aaron Donald was, and was a complete. That man was out there rubbing up on some thighs after.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
That man was out there rubbing up on some thighs after a loss.
He was kicking his kickers and shit too.
He kicked his kicker,
bro.
Yeah, he had to go
in Ohio when everybody flew home.
Yep, that man said, "I'm staying where I'm loved. I'm loved in this part of town.
I paid them the money."
But yeah, bro. So that's why I defend Trevor Lawrence a little bit, because clown show, absolute clown show. And then some people are going to be like, but we got Doug Peterson and he did okay in the second half of the year with him. That's not the point. That's not the point. Honestly, I think everybody got to go. Not Trevor Lawrence, because you just paid him a buttload of money. But,
he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, so he's not going anywhere. But everybody else got to go. General manager, head coach.
I saw that he is, and it's a selective stat, but he is 0-8 in his last 8.
He hasn't won since Thanksgiving.
Bro, so, and then we had this conversation earlier. Trevor Lawrence if we're gonna give Trevor Lawrence any grief, it's that maybe he's just not in that upper 5 dudes, right?
Mhm.
But as you've seen with some vets all over the league, you cannot say that the talents are there to where if he can just figure it out and get a manageable time, that he can have some flashes.
Mhm.
Now, I understand what you're saying, everybody got to go, but another thing you see with a lot of these younger guys is constant churn is never good. So Trevor Lawrence might just unfortunately never have a chance to reach his heights because they've already had to reset once, and we're already talking about they need to reset again.
Oh, they're gonna reset again. He honestly, he might need a change of scenery, but I don't see that change of scenery happening anytime soon. But
So
it wouldn't
if
be
he
the
did
first
get a change
time.
of scenery,
Uh-huh.
and let's just say, let's play a fun hypothetical game that either this year or this offseason someone comes and gets him. Who would that be? Because you have to assume that a lot of the teams that probably need one will also be in a drafting position to maybe try one of those guys.
The San Francisco 49ers.
No, they love Brock Purdy way too much. Oh, no, but they're not going to pay him. They're going to go get Trevor.
I was about to be like, do you think they're going to pay Brock Purdy? That's my thing.
I kind of have a feeling they're going to try to be like, Brock Purdy shouldn't get the money that he probably deserves because he was drafted in the 6th round or 7th round or whatever. They'd be like, no,
he was the last pick.
Yeah, but you can't be on $50 million a year because you weren't drafted in the 1st round. Even though all the other quarterbacks that you kind of compete with every year now have that money. No, you can't have it.
Yeah, bro.
We're gonna go get Trey Lance back.
No, they're not getting Trey Lance back. They got rid of that man so fast.
I called that man Trevor Lawrence last night. Josh Rosen with long hair.
You did. And you're not too far off. You're not too far off with that one. And I wanted to combat it, but I couldn't. I was like, damn.
I know this man had his phone up like, wait a minute, though.
No, there's nothing I can say about that. I got to let that one rock. But yeah, man. So that will be the end of our podcast for this evening or whenever the hell you listen to this. So yeah. You can find me at Relay the Leaf on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the original pod page at BGW Pod on both platforms.
You can find me on Twitter or whatever they're calling it now at CCheevers1989, tagline The Antagonist. Shout out to home.
Shout out. Shout out to the everybody. Norfolk Tides, the Admirals.
Shout out to
look, I didn't even know that you. Shout out to HU. They won
the Battle of the Bay, and they beat Howard.
They did beat Howard. Absolutely.
Yeah, the real HU.
I did not know that the casino was a.
It's the Rivers Casino. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. But all right, man. We'll see y'all next week.